Men could never. They could never handle the period cramps, even just bleeding for 7 days. Could you imagine?
50 podcast. I love your shirt.
Thank you. I know. I was getting ready this morning and I was like, this reminds me of something, and it's our blankets that we have here for the podcast.
It does. That's right. I was thinking that looks familiar.
I know. Thank goodness I'm not that cold today. Otherwise, I'd be wearing the blanket and this. I would just be blending in with everything.
Blending in. So cute, though. Okay, should we get started?
Yes, let's get started.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Yas.
And I'm Yel.
And welcome back to 50/50.
Yes, welcome back. And please hit that subscribe button. We have new episodes out every single Wednesday. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button because we have some juicy topics that we like to talk about here.
Yes, like one today, which we're going to do a girl talk episode.
Yes, this is a girl talk episode. So, if you're a girl specifically, this is one's for you. I mean, even if you're not a girl and you're interested about these things, why not?
Actually, it would be great for other people, to just, it doesn't only have to be girls.
Exactly. So they can understand
us a little bit. That would be amazing.
Yeah, but we just want to talk about some things that, just like the title says it, girl talk, just all about different things that girls go through and everything. And a lot of stuff that people always tell us kind of not to talk about in a way.
Right.
So we just want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Okay. So the first thing, let's talk about periods.
Yeah. I mean, periods are really our entire life from the moment you're as young as I want to say 10 or 11 years old.
Yeah. Some girls already when they're 10, they have it. But most, I feel like the more prime age that you get your period is 11, 12.
Yeah.
That's the time. And that's so young. If you think about it, you're still a little kid. And you have to be dealing with this stuff. And I just feel it's so taboo. I feel to talk about periods or at least I feel previous generations were like that. Maybe
don't say it. If you're on your period, don't say it.
Don't tell anybody.
I mean, that's how it's something that you just don't say. You don't speak about it. And it's something that is part of pretty much our everyday life almost because you have to kind of prep for it beforehand.
Yeah.
And then once it's there, once that time of the month comes, you're like that for about a week.
Yeah.
And then it's the after also
yeah.
And then you're prepping again for it. So it's a never ending cycle.
Exactly. And that's the thing. A lot of people would be like, oh, it's just 1 week out of the month. Oh, it's just 5, to 7 days. No, it's not.
It's not. Because 1 week before you're already getting
your pre-symptoms.
All of the pre-symptoms, and that could be for me, it's anxiety sometimes.
Yeah.
It could be just feeling
headaches.
Headaches.
I get headaches sometimes.
Leg
I get even
aches.
Yes. Oh my God, leg aches. I get even nausea sometimes.
I get nauseous. I get dizzy.
Yes, me too, dizzy.
I get lightheaded. I get, let's just be honest. It could be constipation, diarrhea.
Yeah, all those things can happen. And everybody has so many different varying symptoms and different severities of the symptoms too, because
even night sweats is another thing that happens.
Yeah, I don't get that one all the time, but I do get that sometimes. Hot flashes,
hot flashes, cold flashes.
So many things happening to us, and we have to just be expected to act
as if
nothing's happening.
And imagine being a mother.
Yeah. Oh my God, I can't believe it.
And having all those symptoms, and you have to go on and you have to take care of the house and you have to take care of your children and everything, and it's that's what you're expected to do. Yeah. And if you go to work or school, you don't even have a day off.
I know. And there's I just feel this world is really, they say, it's a man's world.
It is a man's
world.
And
it really is
true.
Because I remember even being in school and you have to, take care of yourself during that time of month. You have to change, do your stuff that you have to do. And there wouldn't even be enough time between switching classes to go to the bathroom and do what you have to do. And then, because, it does take you a little bit longer in those days in the bathroom. So sorry, I couldn't do that in the 2 minutes. Well, actually 5 minutes that you gave us to switch classes.
And then you get into class and then the teacher's what were you doing?
Yeah.
I remember one time, this kid was it was a boy. So, obviously he wasn't doing anything, I guess, woman related.
Yeah.
But he was he told the teacher was what's taking you so long? He's sorry, I had to wipe. Because, I mean, come on, give us a moment. It's so unfair.
It's so unfair. And yeah, with girls, I just feel even then later when you go to work and everything, there's just so many expectations of you. You can't even show your symptoms, I feel and a lot of times girls, because I know you have friends and you talk and whatever, and some girls like to talk about it, some girls do like to talk about it, and that's fine, whatever you're comfortable with, definitely. But I just feel some girls they'd be oh my God, I'm cramping horribly, they would tell me, or some of my friends or whatever, but they had to act they'd be in so much pain.
Yeah.
They maybe take medication if they have it or whatever, or maybe they don't, whatever it is, but they have to just go to the meeting, act like nothing is happening, because you also can't even take a sick day. Like,
you can't. Yeah. I mean, because that's not a sick day. I mean, you could if you have the time, you know, at work. But if you don't have the time, let's say you ran out of all your time.
Yeah.
I think it should be like a necessary thing. Like out of the month, they give us 1 or 2 days. Us women, we need 1 or 2 days, because the first day or the second day are usually always the hardest and worst days.
Yes.
And then it gets, you know, lighter and easier.
Exactly.
As, you know, it progresses.
Exactly. I agree 100%. I feel like there should be a rule that like you're saying, 1 to 2 days a month, you should be allowed to be off of work, because school, I understand how they kind of can't do that, but they should have some, you know, other things in place.
I mean, you need at least some time off, or you can take class. I mean, especially nowadays, you know, after everything has happened in 2020, people can do everything online. Yeah. They should allow people to be like 1 to 2 days a month. You can do your work from home, kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Your schoolwork from home.
Schoolwork, exactly. But definitely workplaces, I'm like, that should be, it should be illegal that they have us out here like going through so much pain sometimes. And you know, it depends on like different people. They might have, some people have PCOS, they have worse cramps, or like endometriosis, they have worse cramps, you know?
Exactly. And I mean, you know, talking personally, sometimes, you know, you don't even know that you're going to get a horrible cramp, and you're in the middle of doing something, and then the cramp just like starts. Yeah. And it's like so excruciating. And then of course it goes away, but it's like how it goes slow, and then it peaks, and then it goes back down. Yeah. So like, and you're in the middle of saying something, and you have to pretend like nothing is happening when you're like,
when you're in so much pain. That's happened to me before, when you have to like, and to all of us, like all girls, you know, like I've been in meetings before, and I've just been like cramping, like in pain. Yeah. And I usually have very light periods, thank goodness, like very light. All my symptoms are very light, thank goodness. But sometimes they're not. Sometimes it is a worse time, you know? And like you do have to just, that's like what kind of like gets me the most. Like we have to be out here pretending like that doesn't happen, when the whole world, everybody knows that women go through this. Yep.
And you know, I have the opposite of you. I have everything, I feel like so heightened. Everything is like everything, all of my symptoms are like, if yours is at a 5, mine's at like a 10. Yeah. And so all of my symptoms, and it's been like that pretty much always, I think. Yeah. My symptoms.
I remember, since we were little.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you know, the worst thing is that if you, let's say you get a little irritable, because those are other symptoms that you get, that I get. You get irritable, you get hungry, you just feel uncomfortable.
Tired. What about tired?
I feel fatigue.
Yeah, fatigue. And I actually am more sleepy.
I'm exhausted. I am exhausted.
During that time, yeah.
Like, and it's like right before. Yeah. So like maybe 1 or 2 days before, even a week before, I get already kind of tired, but 1 or 2 days before, that's when I'm like, I'm just so exhausted. And then of course it goes away right as soon as the time of the month comes. Yeah. But what is so annoying is that if you are a little bit irritable, if you are a little bit of this, you always have somebody being like, oh, are you PMSing? Yeah. That is just so aggravating. Yeah. Or if you are, let's say you are in that time of the month and you are irritable, because you know what? It is uncomfortable. Yeah. You don't feel good. So that's why you're irritable, because
you're not feeling good. Imagine you have some type of discomfort going on.
Exactly. Imagine just feeling uncomfortable. Yeah. You know, anybody would feel a little irritable.
Yeah. Like having any little minor injury. Like, of course, you're not going to be your happiest, right?
Your
if you
happy,
have, like,
peppy self.
Exactly. If you like hurt your leg or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
So then they're like, oh, are you PMSing? Yeah. I'm like, that is so rude.
Yeah. And why is it even, it's ruder just coming from men. Like, men should never say that in their life.
You know how people say that's an ick? That's an ick of mine. That's disgusting. I feel like, ugh, like, I don't care if he's like the hottest man on earth. I'm like, ugh, gross.
Why are you saying that? Like,
yeah.
I know. And especially during that time of the month, don't
say it.
No, and men could never. They could never handle the period cramps, okay? Even just bleeding for 7 days. Could you imagine? They would be like,
they get a cut on their finger, they're down. They're bad dramatic. For like 3 months. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but they're so dramatic. Like they can't
are
handle any type of pain. Could you imagine the period cramps? That's why they have these period cramp simulators. I love watching those videos, by the way, where like men try the period cramp simulator.
You know what? I feel like
it's not the same.
That's what I was gonna say. I don't think it's the same, because it's different coming from, it's inside of you, these cramps that are coming. Yeah. A simulator, I just don't think, I think it's painful, but I don't think it's the same kind of pain.
I know
that we feel.
I would be curious, like I don't really want to do it that bad, but I would be curious to like,
me too,
for a girl to try it, or even myself to try it, and like see like on what scale, because you know how they'll usually put up the intensity or whatever, like what scale is it that
I bet it would be nothing for us if we try it.
I feel like I feel the same way. I feel like it's nothing. But I just wonder like how real it is. And also that's the thing too, they do the simulator for like 30 seconds, they're like, stop, try having that all day. Yeah, because that's how it is. How it is. Or for 2 days. For other women, I don't know how it is. For me, it's just usually 1 day. So I just, for me, it's like 2. I don't get it that bad, like I was saying, thank goodness. But yeah, I just feel like men could never. And girls really are like super women. I'm not even kidding. I mean, we can grow a life inside of us. That right there, that's like superhuman stuff. That is. I always like think about just like, especially, I always have, believed mothers are so special and everything because of our mom, and I know everything that she's been through and everything, and she would, we always ask so many questions about like birth and stuff, so mom would tell us a lot of things, and I just feel like I would always be like just amazed, like I can't believe it. But especially you going through and you becoming a mom, you start making me cry. I feel like emotional. Oh my god. I feel like I really have a new compassion for mothers, because I just can't. I don't know how you guys like live your life. I can barely take care of myself, and I don't know how you guys like live your life and take care of somebody else. And if you have more kids, multiple people you're taking care of and everything. Crazy. So that's really crazy. But I appreciate your mothers out there. Yes. Because moms are so special. Yeah. You don't know everything that they go through, everything that they do just to make, you happy. Yeah. Because I feel like moms literally give up their entire life. They do. Just to make you happy and have you do so many things. So, but anyways, that's a topic for another time. But moms are just so important and so special. That's why I feel like there's such a close bond between a mother and their children. Yeah. Girls, boys, whatever, everything in between. Yeah. It's so special. It is so special. And like you said, this is definitely like for a whole nother topic, but even just the mothers taking care of the kids, all that stuff, that's so important, like you're saying. But also if you even just think about how much mothers even sacrifice like their body and their health, because it's such a risk also to like be pregnant, have a baby, like go through labor, all that stuff is like, look at my situation, not to get into it, but it was very traumatic and potentially deadly, like life-threatening. I know, and that's the stuff that's so scary. But like we said, we'll share that another time, because I know you were telling me before that you like kind of want to talk about that when you feel ready. I talk about it. I do want to talk about it, because I know that what happened to me is rare. Yeah. But I know that it happens to other people. Right. It didn't just happen to me. It happens to other people, but it's rare. It's rare. Yeah. And it's something that I think any woman should know. Right. Because you run the risk of this happening. Yeah. And I feel like I never had heard about it until it happened to you. Like I remember even when we were at the hospital and everything, the doctor like told us like, oh, it could be this, before they confirmed that it was. Yeah. And I was just like, what is that? Like I never even I had no idea, heard about it. So we had really no idea. So anyways, it's good to have education on that stuff, because then you're not that shocked. I feel like also because so many things can happen when you're giving birth. I feel like everybody thinks it's gonna go this way, but I've learned never through goes, it never goes how you plan it. Yeah. Ever. I've never heard of someone that says, this is what I wanted, this is what happened. Yeah. Exactly. But anyways, going back on our topic. I know. Back to the periods. Like we were saying. Yeah. And it's not only the period. Yeah. After the period, you also have things that are happening. So like there's just always something happening to our body, something going on. I mean, if we think about it, really out of the whole month, 1 week we're prepping for it. Yeah. The next week it's happening. The following week, your body's doing its your ovulation. Your ovulation. That's what it is, and everything that happens with that. And then you have literally about 1 week that you're okay. Yeah. Because then you're prepping again. I know. So then the whole cycle starts again. You're prepping again for the time of the month. It happens. The after, and then again. It's like, at what point do we have a break? Exactly. And you get bloated and everything. Yeah. And like sometimes you get bloated again when you're ovulating. Like, it's just like, it's like, when does your body have a break? And that's what's really like, it's more like we have 5 to like 7, like 1 week of a break. Business days, no. 5 to 7 business days for real, of like a break during the month. It's crazy though. It's crazy. Like, so it's not just what people think. It's like, it's an ongoing, cycle that we're on. Yeah. And it's a lot. And we are living our lives out here, of course, like we are, but it's just like, I think it would be nice if we had some things to help us out. On the other hand though, there's like things making people sick. Like tampons. Have you heard of so many things? There's like even all this stuff coming out. Even pads too. They make them all these like horrible ingredients and chemicals that shouldn't be in that area. That's such a such a sensitive area. Yeah, but even like I've just heard recently about all these tampons that have like, we know toxic shock syndrome. That's always been something that can happen, right? But now they're finding all these different like chemicals that can cause cancer, and so harmful. that they're putting this
Especially
stuff.
because it's going, you know, tampons are going inside of your body.
Yeah.
That is literally terrifying.
Yeah.
That all those chemicals are literally just, you know, hanging out in there in such a sensitive part.
Exactly.
Which is just so crazy. And then even a pad, you know, that's still on your skin.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not there, you know, at least it's there for an hour.
Yeah.
You know, until you go to the bathroom again, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just so crazy how these things are like that. And then we're also like, this is something that our body does.
Yeah.
It's part of our body. Like, this is how we populated the world, right? So, and then people also have an issue, and I agree, like, it's taxed on.
Yeah.
Which is just crazy.
Yeah. No, I think, like, I've heard that too, that, like, kind of, like, debate, and that's so true. I feel like there should be, like, it should be part of, like, insurance or something like that, where you're allowed a certain allowance a month, because we have to go out and buy these products, and they're not cheap.
It's not cheap. And especially if you want something that's clean, that's always going to be, you know, more expensive.
Yeah, exactly. And there's so many things we can get into, like the regulations and all that stuff, because there was this brand that I can't even remember right now, so I don't want to say the wrong thing. Yeah. But that they a lot of girls were, and it was a brand of pads. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if they also had tampons, but I know it was pads for sure, where they were using some type of chemicals, whatever, that a lot of women were complaining that when they use that, their flow would change. Like they would suddenly stop having their period, and all these crazy things that, like, it's messing with your hormones.
That's just crazy.
And they were branded as, like, organic, safe, all this stuff. So it's just like, you can't even, like, you can't trust anything.
Trust it.
But unfortunately, that's the truth for a lot of things too. But yeah, and just another topic that I know this is, like, something, like, you know, again, people like say you shouldn't talk about this, whatever. But I just personally feel like, you know, with this whole tampon conversation and stuff, unless you absolutely need to, because, like, you're an athlete or whatever it might be, you know, I feel like you shouldn't wear tampons.
I know. I was thinking about that. I'm like, I think, why did they do that?
Yeah.
There's, I guess, for athletes, like you say, but if you're just a regular person, maybe it's not the most comfortable for you to do this, but maybe pads is the better option, just to regulate your body.
Well, you know me, I'm like, I'm not, like, full on to, like, like nature or whatever, you know, like that type of stuff. But I do think, like, and I've been reading more about this and all that stuff. You know, you have to let nature do its thing. So it's meant to flow out of you, right? Not stay inside.
Right.
And that's the thing that a lot of people are finding out with tampons, that it's just like you're having that, you know, the blood in there, and it's just sometimes drying up in there if you're not changing it at the appropriate time. And this is not always, because the woman is, you know, unhygienic. No, it's sometimes they don't have a moment to do that, right? Like, cause, like we were saying about all the other things, work, school.
I mean, they're a teacher. At what point, you know, they're teaching a class. At what point are they going to run to the bathroom? If in between classes, they have to get ready for the next class.
Exactly.
So, I mean, there's just so many things. Yeah. So many things, you know, that women have to go through that, you know, at what point do they have a moment?
And when is the world going to, like, make some changes for us? That's what I feel like, you know, like, just to, you know, make some accommodations.
I really wish to see, like, how things would be if, like, women kind of rule
the world.
Yeah. I think things would be so much, honestly, I believe things would be even more advanced than what we have now.
I feel like also because,
and I think that's what people are scared of, because I feel like women, we are just so much more intuitive, so much, I feel like we're more powerful. You know, they think men are strengthy because, yes, it's just they're built that way. They're bigger than us. We're always a little smaller,
right? Typically,
physically, typically, right? But I feel like if the world was ruled by women, right? And then when I mean ruled, I mean, like, women are CEOs, women presidents, women this, everybody is mostly women, things would be so much different.
Exactly. Like those head also, like, billionaires in the world that I feel like not many of us, like, hear their names that often, but they're, like, you know, behind the scenes, like, running this world, really.
Exactly.
If they were women, I wonder how it'd be like too.
I think it would be better than what we could ever imagine.
I know, same. I hope we live to see that day, because
I hope so.
But I also think with girls, like our new generation thing, I feel like even like us talking about periods, like online and everything, and like a lot of girls, even I remember in my school, like they'd be like, oh, my mom said not to say anything, but we would still, like, talk about it. And it's like breaking those just like those, like, what do you call it? Like molds, like, I guess, that people put you in, or like
breaking that, like,
boundary.
That boundary kind of, that is kind of crazy, because every woman goes through this.
I honestly feel like it should just be something that we talk about openly, even if men are around or whatever. I'm like, again, do whatever you feel comfortable with. I'm not saying that I do that right now or anything like that, but I just feel like it should be that open, because it's just, I mean, everybody knows this is happening. Like,
but it's so,
it's not a secret.
But it is so secretive. This is so secretive, and it's so just like, I don't know. I feel like men don't even know what's going on until you get married. And that's when they're like, oh,
yeah,
this is what happens.
I
Like,
know.
they're so shocked and surprised.
And that brings me to, you know, the whole thing about women. Like, are we the problem? Because, like you're saying, sometimes men don't even know about these things until they get married. You know, in most cases, they have a mom, right? Everybody has a mother, but I know sometimes you're not fortunate enough to grow up with your mother, or they're not a person,
A present mom,
or they have issues. You know, there's so many different circumstances.
Some moms just don't like to say things. They don't like to speak about it.
Exactly. They just rather not speak about it. But I'm like, I feel like, is that the problem? Because I'm like, as a woman, I feel like if you have a son, you have a duty to like, make this man understand, like, be compassionate at least.
At least be compassionate, because, and you know what? That's the thing.
Towards women's issues.
That's the thing I think with like moms with boys. I don't have a boy. I have a daughter. Yeah. So I don't know how it is.
Girl mom.
Yeah, girl mom. Oh my God, blessed.
Yeah, for real. Oh my God.
I am blessed.
I love being a girl aunt too. I love my niece. I can't imagine life without having our little baby girl. So
I know.
Anyways.
I just see that women want to just baby their sons.
Yeah.
They're just like, I don't know what it is, but it's just like, oh, don't let him grab that. Oh, don't let him do this.
Yeah.
It's always like that.
It's crazy to me. And like, and this is across all cultures, because people will have you thinking like, oh, that's how people do it in this culture, whatever. I've seen this across all cultures.
Yeah.
That it's the same thing where, like, exactly what you're saying. The mother will like, and again, this is in most cases. We're not saying this to everybody out there.
Yeah.
But the mother will be like you're saying, protecting their son so much. Like, no, don't do that. Like, don't hurt yourself. I remember even us growing up, you know, we're two girls, and our mother always raised us, because our mom always raised us like, you don't need a man. Like, you do everything independent. And it's not like you don't, like, you know, need a man. Like, don't get married. No, not like that. But she was just like, you don't
need a man to do. You don't even have to wait for a man. That's what I mean. Exactly. You have to wait for a man to do something.
Like, if something broke down in our house, like, what my mom would fix it. Like, you know, our mom would fix it. If our dad was around, then he would or came, you know, was around when that happened. That like something broke down. Yeah. And then he could take care of it. But
like a picture frame, my mom would just hang it.
She would hang it up. Like, let's say our curtain rod fell down, we would put it back up. Or like, if we wanted to paint something, my mom would be like, oh, gotta wait for dad. No, we would
go to Home Depot, get the paint, and start doing it.
So our mom always raised us like that. And like, when we would go shopping and everything, we would help her with the shopping bags. Like, we would just do everything. But I remember like other boys our age, and sometimes, you know, family friends and stuff like that. Yeah. And our mom would be like, of course, like, you know, I remember one time clearly we were unloading the car, and she was like, okay, let's take the groceries in. We were just doing our regular thing, like everybody,
and go to the back. It wasn't a chore for us. It was just like, we're helping our mom. Like, this is part of what we do.
Like, why would we stand there and watch her take the bags in instead of helping her? That's crazy. So obviously we help. But I remember this person like was telling their son, she was like, no,
don't touch anything.
She's like, don't touch anything. She's like, you don't need to grab anything.
She's like, go inside, sit down.
She's like, just go inside. And I was just like, what? And that's not the only time. There were many times like that. But this is just one clear example. And I'm just like, what? Like, yeah. In a lot of, I noticed a lot of different like moms would do that. And like, I'm like, what are you teaching your son? Like, if anything, it doesn't mean like, oh, because he's a man, he has to help. But just be a nice person. Yeah. And if you see somebody carrying a lot of bags, help them out. And especially in this case, it was their own groceries too. It was like, you know, it would be him helping his mother, his, you know, family.
Right. I mean, I've seen, you know, even in relationships that we've seen that, you know, the husband they're going into the restaurant, boom, he opens the door and he walks in, and the door just slams in the wife's face. Yeah. And she's, you know, carrying her two children, and she has a stroller, and she has her little diaper bag. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So like, you and I remember we ran up and opened the door, and we're like, oh, go inside. Yeah. And I'm just like, what just happened in front of me? Because I'm like, yeah. And that has to be like, why did his mom say, you know, hey, help your wife out? Exactly. You know, don't let her carry everything. She has the kids, she has the stroller, she has the diaper bag. At least hold the door for her. My God. For real.
I think as a mom also, I feel like you have a like I was saying, kind of like a duty. No, but like you should, even when it comes to like even preparing your son eventually for one day, like if they want to get married and have kids, whatever, like having some compassion for a pregnant woman, a woman who is just postpartum. Like, I feel like a lot of these things people don't tell men, like you're saying, they're like, oh, like, you know, this is girl talk, which it is. I can understand, like, but you
don't have to go into detail with men. Exactly. You know, men are simple-minded people, you know. Yeah. Like we've said
that's
many
what
times.
I always say.
And so, like, you know, like you said about the postpartum thing, which is something, you know, I've never heard people talk about this, but
no, never.
You know, you need to tell your son, hey, your wife is going through a lot right now, emotionally, physically, whether she had a C-section or a vaginal delivery. I mean, it's traumatic either way to your body. It's really intense.
You're injured afterwards.
You are
regardless
injured.
how that child is coming out. Like the baby has to come out somehow, and you're going to be in a recovery phase. Like you need to recover.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you have to take care of somebody while you're recovering, which is that baby, you know?
Exactly.
And emotionally, so many things happening, like
emotionally, mentally, physically, like everything is happening to you.
You're not sleeping also.
Exactly. You're sleep deprived.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're breastfeeding, you are the source of food for your child.
Yeah.
And so all of that stuff, and, you know, just breastfeeding in general, that comes with a whole bunch of pain and, you know, so much stress and everything, just, you know, to produce the milk and everything. So all of that, you know, you don't have to go into details.
Yeah.
Right. But if you just say your wife is going through a lot right now, like just explain it to them
a
little bit. Just say, be compassionate.
Exactly.
You know, have patience.
Yeah.
This is a hard time. They're in pain.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't click for men.
Exactly.
And sometimes the wife, that's not the wife's duty. I feel like.
Especially if you're a first time mom, I feel like sometimes you don't even know exactly how you're going to feel either and all that stuff. And I just think like, I just feel like, when have you ever heard men talk about postpartum? Like, I feel like they don't also like, oh, women are pregnant. Oh, like she's pregnant. They don't even know also everything that you're going through.
Don't even get me started when they say we are pregnant. Oh my God. That gets me so upset.
Are you carrying this baby? No.
We are not pregnant. I am pregnant.
Yeah.
Yes, with our child.
Or we're expecting a child.
We're expecting a child, yes, but not we are pregnant. No. We're expecting. I totally get that one.
Yeah.
Because we are expecting, but we are pregnant? No.
Exactly. No. And like, that's what I'm saying too. Like, I feel like men are left out of the conversation a lot with even like what goes on to your body while you're pregnant. A lot of things are going on to your body also. What goes on during labor? What goes on after labor? Like all this stuff, I feel like if they're part of the conversation, maybe they would understand more and be able to have that compassion and even just a little bit of like just knowledge what's happening to you. Yeah. So they're not so like shocked, because a lot of people end up even sometimes getting divorced.
Yes.
Or breaking up, whatever, after having a child, because they're like, oh, the woman changed so much. Of course. She was a single lady before, and now she's a mother. Like, what are you talking about? How's she going to be the same?
A woman never stays the same.
Yeah.
From the moment that you find out that you're pregnant, you're a different person.
Yeah.
I say that from experience.
Yeah.
I am a different person because I have never worried about anybody else in my life.
Like you worry about your baby.
I worry about my baby. Mm-hmm. And that started already the moment I found out I was pregnant.
Yeah.
And I changed because it's like, is my baby moving? Can I feel this? Can I feel the kicks? Can I feel that?
Even what you eat, because you end up learning so many things that like you eat are like, or like you can't eat while you're pregnant because it's dangerous.
I had a lot of
acid reflux,
heartburn.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I love spicy food. I'm like, I can't eat spicy food. It doesn't do me or my baby good.
Yeah.
My baby doesn't like it. Yeah. So I couldn't eat spicy.
Yeah.
You know, and so many things. Like,
so many things.
You can't eat like deli meat.
Yeah. Or different cheeses.
Like
feta cheese you couldn't have because like any wet cheese you couldn't have, right? Something like that.
Exactly. Or unpasteurized juices and stuff like that.
Yeah. So, and we don't like sushi, but like sushi, caffeine.
Exactly.
You have to watch so many things that you have to like already, you know, just be careful about so you don't harm your child. Like that's already, so exactly what you're saying. You are a mother like already from the moment that it happens. And again, I am not a mom, but I just learned so much through you. Even I remember being so curious since we were little. Like I remember you and I asking my mom and our aunt and everything, just like, oh my God, like, and they would tell us a lot of things. There's a lot of things they forgot already by that point, because by that point we were already older, so they hadn't had a child for like 15 years or something like that. So, you know, it's like, it's hard to remember everything. I remember mom even saying like when you went through your pregnancy and birth and all that and postpartum, like a lot of things when she remembered of a lot of things that she had completely forgot about that happened to your body and all that stuff.
Right.
So anyways, even as not being a mother, you can have compassion. And I just feel like, I know that I'm a woman, so I see it a little bit different, but I feel like if women out here who don't have kids, we can have compassion for other women who do have kids and everything that they go through. I'm like, so can men. You know what I mean? Like, so I just feel like they need to be included in those conversations.
They need to be included. And the moms need to be like, this is what happened to me when I gave birth to you. I feel like they need to have that story.
Yeah.
Because some men don't even know. They're like, yeah, I have no idea how, like, it all happened when I was born.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? I know every detail. My mom said so many things to us. You know, she's told us, oh, I was walking and this, and then my water broke. Like, we know everything.
Exactly.
The street names, my mom, like, she's told us everything.
Exactly. So I feel like if you have a son or even a nephew, anybody, any like boy in your life, man, whatever. I feel like
include them.
Tell them these things,
Tell
right?
them,
Like,
so then they can become these more compassionate men.
Yeah.
For women, because I mean that's what we want in this society, right? We want men that are, we want equality, kind of, right? I mean, I know it's not always equal everything, because life isn't equal.
Yeah.
But at least understanding.
That's what we want. Exactly, for things that we're going through. And then another thing, kind of on the same, theme of like, are we the problem? Like sometimes, women, I just feel like, because we also are, like, let's just be honest, we're the first ones to tear each other down too.
Yeah. Not only each other, but yourself. You're
also.
so critical. Like women are so critical of themselves.
Yeah.
And then it, displays onto other people too, I feel
exactly. And of course, this is not everybody. Again, this is not
exactly.
Everybody. I've encountered so many girls in my life and women who are always supporting women and stuff like that. So there's more of the negative also, unfortunately, because I was even just thinking, just with it being summer.
Yeah.
And, people going to the beach, pool, whatever. A lot of people, they want to like wear a bikini and they're like, oh, but I can't because my body looks this way and I want it to look that way, whatever. Yeah, or like somebody wears a bikini, like, oh, she should not be wearing that with her body. Why do you care, first of all, as a person?
Yeah.
How somebody else looks like. Like, I never understood that in my life. Like, of course you can have your opinion, being like, oh, that doesn't look good on her. Or something. Of course, we're all going to have our opinions always. Yeah. And your opinion is just an opinion, because you could say that looks horrible and I could think it looks good on her. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, it's just like, that's literally just your opinion. But I just feel like people who actually insult other people because like, you shouldn't be wearing that. Like, why do you get a life? Like, why do you care what somebody else is wearing? Are you serious? I just feel like that is so dumb.
They literally, like you said, get a life, because they literally have nothing better in their life. Nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
They should be thankful about that they have nothing to worry about. Yeah, honestly. That they're literally getting on somebody else's appearance.
Yeah.
And making them feel bad.
Yeah.
Why? Why does that bring you joy? That person, maybe that, you know what? They have a lot of problems.
They probably do have a lot of
internal problems, because if they're doing that stuff like that, that's projecting.
Exactly what I was going to say. I'm like, a lot of times people say that's projecting, and I feel like that's so true, because that just means like you're unhappy with yourself, something about yourself that you can't imagine that somebody else, maybe with your same flaws or something like that, is able to live their life happily, show off, like, whatever. Like, if you have this body type and you wear something, you're like, oh, I would never wear that, and I have the same body type. Well, that's you. They want to wear that. I honestly, I believe, whatever your body looks like, I feel like, and you want to wear, let's say you're like, oh, I'm not supposed to wear a mini skirt because of this or whatever, but you want to wear it, go ahead and wear it. Yeah. Or, I want to wear this like turtleneck, but it doesn't look good. Wear it. Who cares? Yeah,
because you don't have a long enough neck or something.
Yeah, or whatever it might be. Yeah, exactly. But I'm just like, I feel like we only live one life.
Exactly.
If there's things about your body that you want to correct, like through exercise and stuff like that, do that too. Like, I'm not in that post.
But if you're not going to exercise or whatever, I mean,
love your body regardless.
Love your body. Yeah. I mean, you only have one life. It's such a short life that we live, if you think about it. Even if you reach 100 years old, I mean, think about it when you actually start living your life, maybe at like 30s, maybe even. Like, even some people would say no, that they're not really living their life yet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, your life that you really live is so short.
Exactly. And with all these beauty standards and everything, like, I feel like there's always this pressure from women to other women of like, you need to look this way. Like, I mean, don't leave the house without your makeup on. You'll like, I mean, all this stuff.
That is something, with, especially now with like the whole influencer stuff, because I feel like that's now such a big thing, which it wasn't before.
Yeah.
There wasn't like these influencers. All we would really see is, the celebrities on magazines.
Yeah.
Right. And now we have,
but it was so distant.
It was distant. You had no connection. But now these like everyday people are getting BBLs.
Oh my God. Yes.
Okay. They're getting liposuction.
Yeah.
They are getting like all kinds of sculpting, lip injections.
They're getting all kinds of injections.
Everything. Botox, fillers, implants.
Yeah.
They get chin fillers. You don't like your chin? Boom. They get a chin filler.
Yeah.
They don't have like a, what is it? A jawline?
Yeah.
They get
yourself a jawline.
Exactly. You buy yourself a jawline, right?
Exactly.
You don't have, breasts, get an augmentation.
Yeah.
You want a butt, you get the BBL.
Yeah.
I mean, people are doing so many things. They even have feet shortening, like toe shortening surgeries.
Oh my God. Yeah.
To get your toes a specific way. They cut your bone.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Point is that you really don't need any of that.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
And it's also like, if you want to do that stuff again, because I'm a firm believer on like, do what you want to do. So if that really makes you happy, like going to get surgeries, like do it. But I just feel like you should be happy in your own body. Like, it's mostly because like who are you changing for? Like, if it's for yourself, that's good. But if you're changing for somebody else, like, oh, I want to have like this body type, like that is like, you know, the right body type to have. Like, no, I don't think there's any right body type to have. And a lot of times, like you're saying, people are risking even their lives.
Their lives, exactly.
Like, it's not every day that this happens, but like every so often you hear somebody who was getting BBL who ends up passing away on the surgery table because it's actually such a dangerous surgery to get.
It is. Like the fat transfer, that stuff is really dangerous.
Yeah. And then what about with all these implants right now? There's like, I feel like there's been like a wave of like a lot of people, you know, influencers and celebrities taking away their breast implants because of all these like illnesses that it's causing them and just like causing them to feel sick all the time. Like, you know,
I mean, if you think about it, you know, you're putting a foreign object into your body.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying, you know, and then your body is nonstop attacking it because it's like, what is this foreign object inside?
And it's like plastic also.
Yeah.
Right. The silicone or whatever.
Yeah. What I think is like, if you want to get it, get it. Right. Who cares? It doesn't matter. But you don't need it is my thing. If you're doing it because you're insecure, because you're self-conscious, I don't think that's a good idea to get it. Yeah. That's something that's a different thing that you need to work on.
Exactly.
That's something completely different. You have to work on your confidence, your self-esteem, you know,
loving how you were made or how your body is, because, you know,
but getting a surgery, getting fillers or whatever, that's not going to fix that.
Exactly.
Because you're going to get the lip fillers because you don't have a upper lip. Okay. I know it's funny, but you're going to get that. And then next thing you know, you're like, oh my God, my nose. I have a bump on my nose. That's kind of how it happens. Yeah. And these plastic surgeons, this is the truth. You know, you go in there, they're like, or imagine like going to a nail salon, because I've never been to plastic surgery. Yeah. Right. But I go to a nail salon and I'm getting my nails done. And they're like, oh, you want to wax on your eyebrows?
Yeah. And you're like,
what?
I didn't think I needed that.
I'm like, I never got one before, but I'm like, do I need it? She's like, yeah, why not? She's like, clean it up. She's like, you know, clean it. I'm like, what? I'm like, no. I'm like, no way.
Yeah.
But then I go back and I'm like, I look at myself in the mirror. I'm like, do I need it?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
They get you thinking, they're like, oh, wait,
exactly.
Like maybe my eyebrows are too thick, too bushy, whatever. When like, no, we're all different out here.
Exactly. And I mean, we're all different. You have bushy eyebrows or you don't have bushy. It depends on even who you are, like your genetic makeup.
Exactly.
Right? So why change it? My point is this: it's not going to change who you are, because then you're going to be insecure about something else. That's all I'm trying to say.
And exactly what you're saying is so true, because I've heard from people, like, you know, different YouTubers and everything, that they'll go to like a plastic surgeon office for like one thing, and then they end up coming out with like a whole evaluation of what they suggest. Whether they do it or not, it doesn't matter. But they will tell them like, oh, you would look so much better if you like added some filler here in your cheeks because you don't have high enough cheekbones.
Like your proportions
are off. Yeah. Like I've heard so many of these things, like, you know, from different people's experiences. So they really do that. It's like they're upselling you. Exactly. That's literally what it is, because they're obviously, that's their job. You know, plastic surgery is not something, they're not out here saving lives, because they're not. It's okay. Like, it's like, you know, if that's your profession, like, that's great. But it's like, you're not saving lives. So it's not a necessity. So if you don't like upsell these people, where would your business be, right? So you need to be like, oh, you know, and they probably do maybe really believe this. Like, I can make you look better. They probably believe that, but also we've seen a lot of botched people out here. I mean, so it's not, more surgeries and more injections isn't always better.
It isn't, yeah. And you know, plastic surgery is great for many other things, you know, because they have reconstructed faces and things and bodies and body parts and stuff like that, because, you know, they've been in
burn victims,
all kind of accidents.
Yeah.
But we're just saying, you know, if you're insecure about something, try working on that insecurity first.
Yes.
And see if that kind of fixes the issue, because getting the surgery, getting a filler, getting whatever, it won't always fix it, because you'll find something else. You're always going to find something else.
And I think a big thing too is just like accepting that we all have different body types.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
And that we don't have to all look the same.
No.
And guess what? Some people also might like their body type, even if it's not the ideal body type. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. A lot of times for women, you know, they'll say the ideal body type is like having a larger chest.
Like an hourglass figure. Let's say
like an hourglass figure, whatever, right? But they'll be like, oh, like, you know, larger chest is like beautiful. What if you like having a small chest?
Yeah. I mean,
you know what I mean? And that happens. That exists.
People do like their bodies how they are sometimes.
Exactly. So I'm just like, I feel like those people that do like their bodies, you gotta rep it. And everybody should like their body, to be honest. But like, we just have to be like, there's different bodies out here. Why do who wants everybody to look the same? That would be so boring.
I mean, look, even if you see fruit, right? It's the exact same fruit.
Right.
They don't all look the same.
No.
It doesn't even all taste the same.
No.
Because some are sweet, some are a little bit sour. Like I'm thinking of like a blueberry or something, you know, those are kind of almost all we can say identical kind of looking.
Right.
But they're not at the same time, right?
Everything's different.
So that's just how humans are. We're all the same, but we just look a little different.
Yeah. And I feel like we should like our differences.
I mean, why not? That makes us unique. If we all look the same, like people have always said this, like if we all look the same, it'd be so boring. But it would be boring.
It would be boring.
It would be so boring. Everybody has the same hair color, eye color. Like then we
and there'd be like nothing unique about you. Like exactly. You know what I mean? Like or something that makes you you. Because everybody is like all your features, your hair color, your body type. That's the combination that makes up you.
Yeah. It's so like, special.
So special, exactly. So anyways, anybody out there, you know, I feel like we have come a long way. Well, I feel like we've always
because our parents are, you know, have always instilled in us to be just happy with our bodies.
Happy with our body, exactly. Like, you know,
especially our mom being women, you know, so
exactly. And so I just feel like it's not always easy to get there sometimes, but you should just really love your body and don't let anybody ever make you feel insecure about your body, whatever, you know, how you look. Never.
So I heard something like this. I don't know where, I don't know what exactly. I can't even think of the exact words that it is, but it's like, if you're not going to take that person's opinion, like if you're not going to take their opinion into consideration, why are you taking their criticism?
Exactly.
Why are you accepting that criticism that they have of you?
Yes, 100%.
So just who cares? Who cares what they say? They don't like you? Okay, good. You don't like me, but you know, my family loves me.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Or I'm not your cup of tea. Maybe I don't even want to be your cup of tea.
Exactly.
Did that ever cross your mind? Like, I don't want to be your ideal image of a person. No. So like, you know, just these people, like you're saying, sometimes some people also just like to hate because they just like to hate. Like they say, haters gonna hate, and that's the truth.
Haters gonna hate.
So you can't dwell on that. But I just feel like, you know, no matter what your body looks like, anything, whether you like to wear makeup or not, for example, you should just be you.
Be you. Be yourself. Who
cares? Be
yourself.
Love yourself. Always, like, we have an episode about being confident that we did, and like I think we mentioned this a little bit in there too, but I'm going to say it again here, where it's like, you know, the best thing you can do is be confident, and even like to tear down the haters or whatever, what they want to do is tear you down. So if you show yourself confident and that you love yourself, it even kind of like shocks them, I feel like, 'cause they're like, how could, like, you like your body? It's like, yes, I do.
Yes.
Like, you like your natural hair? Yes, I do.
But why is that a shock to them? That's crazy. Of course.
Yeah. Because I think, like we were saying, it's just like the projections. I feel like
the projection,
it's because they're so uncomfortable with themselves that they can't imagine somebody else being comfortable with themselves.
That's why just love yourself. Because nobody's going to love you like you love you.
Exactly. That's the truth. And you got to be your number one cheerleader. I don't care about people out here being like, you know, there's a fine line between cocky and then like confidence.
Yeah.
But, you know, just, I don't think it's wrong to like love yourself. Like people are,
I mean, you have to love yourself.
You have to love yourself. You have to be your number one cheerleader.
You are with you 24/7.
Exactly.
So you have to love yourself.
You got to love yourself, and you only have one life, like we were saying. So why would you be out here? Imagine spending your whole life being like, I want to look like that. Like something that you
just waste so much time.
Yeah.
Just enjoy life and enjoy yourself how you are. Because you're never going to be this young also.
Exactly.
We're always aging.
We're always aging, yeah. So what is it like they say? You're the youngest you'll ever be right now, but also the oldest you've ever been.
Exactly.
Because, you know, until you reach another age, another day.
Another
year.
Hour, even, you know.
So anyways, hope you guys like this video. It's just, you know, girl talk stuff. We just wanted to talk about these things that are like, honestly, we would talk about with our girls, you know, like we have a group of girls, group of friends, some stuff that you would talk about. So why not share it also on the internet? And yes, if you guys like this episode, hit the like button, subscribe. We have new episodes out every single week.
Every Wednesday.
So every Wednesday we have a new episode out, and we'll see you guys in the next week's episode.
Yep.
Right?
See you.
Bye.
Bye.